Oh my God.
Welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games. We got everything you want. How do we know the names? We are the people that can find whatever you may need. If you got the money, honey, we got your disease. In the jungle. Welcome to the jungle. Once it brings you to your knees. I wanna watch you bleed. Welcome to the jungle. We take it day by day. If you wanna joke on the bleed, but the price you pay, and you're a very sexy girl, very hard to please. You can take some bright nights, but you won't get them for free. In the jungle, welcome to the jungle. Feel my serpentine. I wanna hear you scream.
Well, good evening, Erie County. Here we are. Man, it is Wednesday at our normal time. Like I said, sorry about last week. We wanted to go to that seminar at Penn State. Really informative. Learned a lot. And, this is what we need to do. We got Lance, we got Dave, we got Matt. Thank you. Dave always comes in, gives me thumbs up, sound check. That means my audio is going out, my video is going out. We're going out. Wow. I tell you what, we have a lot to talk about. Wow, we have a lot to talk about. One enter. So yeah, what a busy week we have had. I mean, really, just crazy, crazy week. Uh yeah, here we go. So let's do this thing. Um, I don't know. I look like I'm in a time warp. Yeah, look at that. I know, Brenda. You maybe do that now. I'm in a time warp. So yeah, I don't know. We've tried some new things. We got different things going on, to make things a little better. And we try new things and see if it works or not. But we appear to be we tried a new function, and now it looks like I'm like kind of lagging, and my everything looks different. I don't know, Brenda. I did that what you told me to do, and now it looks like I'm looking at me from a different place, and I'm not looking at me live. But that's okay. We will just keep moving forward. It's no big deal. We, like I said, we try different things. We try to improve things, and that's what we're gonna do. Big week. I tell you what. All I can say is 9-0. 9-0. Amazing. The Supreme Court never agrees on anything. Anything, nothing, ever do they agree on. So that's fine. Hang on a second. Yes, Brenda. That's fine. Hello?
Just pull up the other, just pull up the other chat.
Yeah. Yeah, because like I said, it looks like I'm reading, and it looks like I'm looking at a delay. So the other screen looks totally different. It looks like I'm looking at it delay. The other screen looks totally different. Yeah, so I don't know what that prompt did, but it changed it. Yeah, Dave, hang on a second. I'm on the line with the wife, so we'll just deal with it. It
But
has a little.
it was only supposed to.
So we'll just deal with it. Right. I'm talking live, but it's on a delay. Right. I'm talking live, but it's on
And it shouldn't be.
Okay, there we go. All right. I just flipped back to the other screen. Now we're good.
Okay.
Okay. There we go. All right. I just flipped back. Yeah, the screen was there, but it was like I was watching me on a delay. And I was like, oh my goodness. Yeah, the screen was
Okay.
there, but it was like I was watching me.
Okay.
Okay, we got it. Thanks, Brenda. Oh my goodness.
Bye.
Thanks. Yeah, sorry about that, Dave. I was talking to my chief engineer. Go ahead and call back in. We're just, like I said, trying different things, trying different functions of this chat, and so yeah, there's a lot of things to do. Yes, Dave. Hey, Dave, you there?
There we go.
We're getting there. We're not Joe Natale. I don't have the fancy studio as. I'm just live from the living room.
Right, live from the living room. Another another week, another boots.
Wow, I tell you what, I know this week was a roller coaster. I mean, it's only Wednesday. You know, we had Colorado get shot down, and then Trump turns around and kicks the snot out of them. So that's a double win.
Yeah, that's pretty good week. Pretty good week. But my theme call today is everything old is new again. At least they want to make it new again in the city, and a little bit in the county too.
Well, yeah, of course.
What am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about the old, the Renaissance
Yes.
to start with, and then you have the Renaissance down there on Parade Street. Things they want to build. Let me go through a few of them here. I got a few. They want to build a social club on Parade Street. Well, guess what? There was a social club on Parade Street, the East Erie Turners.
Yeah.
The building's still there, but it's vacant. And number two, they wanted to build a bank. Well, there was a bank on Parade Street, the Union Bank. And I tell you what, I remember back in the day when they were trying to tear that place down, they had a heck of a time because it was built solid, that bank.
Well, yeah, they didn't mess around back in the day. Those were really, really tough buildings, and I get
yeah,
that.
and they had a real nice safe in there too, a walk-in vault. That thing would have. I think today, if that bank was still up, that would have been. I don't think they could tear that down. That'd be considered a historical building, I believe.
I totally agree with you because with the way the Gothic pillars were and the year was built. And here we are. Here we take one step forward and 5 steps back, and
right.
And of course,
go ahead.
And of course, the big controversy I read today was 24-hour bathrooms.
Oh, I was going to get to that. Well, hey, let me get my number 3 for Renaissance. They want to build a supermarket on Parade Street. Well, there was a supermarket on Parade Street, the Blue Ribbon Market. That's gone now too. And like you just said here, the big thing they want to build is they want to have bathrooms downtown. Well, there was a bathroom downtown. North Park Row and State, the one thing that went underground under State Street. I don't know if you remember that or not.
No, I don't remember that one. And I know they had water fountains.
Oh yeah, it went right under State Street underground, and it was a bomb shelter. They had the old what do you call that? What's that little symbol they used to have back in the day for the nuclear bombs?
Civil defense. The civil defense stuff.
Right, civil defense hideaway there.
Oh, I know. Well, that's it. We tear it down for progress. Then we go, whoops, that really wasn't very progress. Now we take a step back, and now we want to build it again. So yeah,
Yep.
I get it. Then of course, just watching the city news, watching the county news. That's one of the things we're going to talk about tonight. Is oops, here's county council thinking they know what they're doing, and they're setting themselves up for another lawsuit from Gannon. So here we go.
Yeah, that'd be good. There was a girl that was on the city council, Citizens to be Heard today. I just watched it. She came in front of council, and she wanted a little bit of influence from those council members, the city council members, because one of the county council members was previously on city council. And she says, and she mentioned that, and she says, maybe you guys have a little influence because they want him to vote. You know, his vote is probably going to be against it, and that would shoot down the veto. You know, that it wouldn't be the veto would stand.
Right. Yeah, because they need five. And
Right.
like our new chairman, Terry Mad Dog Scatella, he's like, I already got the votes. Remember how they ding Davis about, oh, look at that. Davis has got 4 votes all the time for all these projects. Well, here's Scatella on the news saying, well, I already got the 4 votes to overturn this Neptune thing. And then here comes the county solicitor, which I think is about 5 times smarter than county council's solicitor, saying,
Mm-hmm.
you can't
Mr.
do that.
Sparrow.
Mr. Sparrows, yeah, and that's illegal, and you can't do that. So, here county council coming in. Oh, we've got the 4 votes. In the same breath, they're like, well, we know Brenton will veto it, and we don't have 5 for that super vote
Right.
that they need.
Right.
So,
Right.
I mean, just ridiculous.
Well, you listen to these nitwits that go there in the citizens to be heard portion, and you follow what they want. You're going to end up in a lawsuit.
Well, yeah, because
know?
they don't know the home rule charter. They don't know how government works, and just because they think it should be a certain way doesn't make it's the legal way. That's why we have solicitors. Unfortunately, we pay a fortune in solicitors because we have to, fight off these lawsuits, and then you have a rogue county council that have been there barely 3 months now, and they think they know the home rule charter inside and out. And they're dead wrong. They're dead wrong. And like Sparrow said, though, this is setting up a lawsuit. It's a breach of contract. And he made a good point. We have it set up this way. There's branches of government, legislative, that's county council, the executive. That's what they do. They start the contracts. They get into contracts. We sign them off. And here's the kick in the teeth. Here's something they have forgotten to tell everybody involved here. Conveniently, their solicitor, the Democrat solicitor, Tom Tallarico, he approved this lease. We don't sign shit until he gives us the blessing. He read it. He went through it. He approved it. We trust him as our solicitor, big dummies. And he approved, said, yeah, it's a good deal. It's a good deal. But no one wants to mention that because it's their Democrat controlled people that really, he could have said, well, I don't think this is right. I don't think it falls under this, but it did. It fell under the home rule charter. It fell under the way we do business. That's our rules. Hey, Corey. Hey, Brad, Kim, Linda, Lance. Sorry, there are a bunch of people just popped in the room. So, we go with the legal advice of our solicitor. He says, thumbs up, good to go. We voted in. And, let's not forget Terry Scatella on the first round. That was a 6-1 vote.
Only one against it was Mr. Horton.
Andre Horton. And that's his district. That's his district. And that was at the old fish farm, barn, whatever it was, on the bayfront. And Julie Slomsky, gee, where'd that name come from? And all her cast of characters down there at the on the water, they said, well, we're not really sure about this. And, Gannon University didn't want to spend $24 million on a building where Julie and those folks could just come and say, yeah, 30-day notice, you're out. And they just wasted $24 million to renovate that building. So that wasn't an option. And the best option was the library. It'll be nice.
Yeah. Well, I see I see you posted on the website a Veterans Appreciation Dinner by Dan Laughlin. Huh? Is that that's going to be in April, I guess, huh?
Yeah, it's all listed up there. Dan does this every year. It's huge. We pack the place. They always have a guest speaker in there, and it's all free. It's all free.
Free? Oh,
Free.
I'll be there.
Oh yeah, you Navy
I'll be
guys.
there.
Navy and a free lunch. No, last year they had Treasurer Stacy Garrity, Fulberg Colonel, come in there and as a guest speaker. And I forget that we have a general coming in to do the little talk. And it's just Dan's way of saying thank you. And it's a great organization, great come together. But yeah, thanks for checking my stuff out. I go, do people read the stuff I post? And I'm like, I appreciate that.
All right. Hey, you have a good evening.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
All right. Bye.
But yeah, I tell you, it has been a really, 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 really busy week on the national level. We had the Colorado, we had Colorado saying, hey, we don't want Trump and we are going to throw him off the ballot. You talk about interfering with an election. You talk about mandering. You talk about manipulating and trying to say, no, you as a U.S. citizen can't run in our state. Supreme Court, I am absolutely tickle pink that they went 9-0 on this. 9-0. They listen. I don't even think they agree on lunch. So for them to come in and vote 9-0 on this is truly amazing. But if you actually take a minute out of your busy schedule and just Google up, the 14th Amendment, where they talk about this, there's no wiggle room here. I mean, if you're a true justice and a judge that's supposed to be impartial, and you actually read it and understand it, they had no choice. There was no charge of insurrection. He didn't plot an insurrection. Where has one person been charged with insurrection? I'll sit back and wait, because you know what? There wasn't. Just because the Democrats and the media have been banging it against the desk 1,000 times doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it true. Just because the media says so doesn't mean it's true. And there was no insurrection. There has been no charge of insurrection. So when they tried to throw him off the ballot for insurrection, it couldn't stick. And the states have no authority to interfere with a presidential race. It's right in there. I mean, I'm paraphrasing and breaking it down, but just take a minute and actually read it. Knowledge is power. I have a box of little constitutions Jake Bantha gave me, and I hand them out all the time to people. Just Google it. Just Google it up, and it'll tell you right there what happened. Wasn't insurrection. Couldn't charge him. And I also read that I read it online. I don't know how much validity there is to it, but the folks that they locked up for the January 6th thing, they found the judges overstepped their bounds on sentencing, and they have to pull those sentences back. Isn't that nice? They're getting caught with their hands in the cookie jar and saying things that aren't really true. So yeah, I mean, it's been an exciting week. Super Tuesday. What was it? Joe Biden lost. Of course, I didn't hear much of this on the news. Just Biden, Samoa. The Samoans did not vote for Joe Biden. They didn't. They voted for one of their own people, and I don't blame them. I wouldn't want Joe Biden in charge of me either. But I'm telling you, this was a huge week. Supreme Court, boom, Trump's back on the ballot. And then what happens in Colorado? Trump won big. Trump did well in Colorado, and that's exactly why the cheating Democrats that are in charge of Colorado wanted him off the ballot. They knew that the people of Colorado were basically going to say, "Yeah, we disagree with you." So guess what? They showed the lying, cheating people that are trying to manipulate. They're trying to get involved in this election illegally. They're trying to manipulate the election illegally. They got caught. They said, we're told no. And the people turned, what did they do? They turned right around and they made Trump a big winner in Colorado last night. So, hey man, let's roll with it. Go ahead, Kim.
Hello, Brian. Hello, everybody. How are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you doing, young lady?
Oh, I'm so excited about the Supreme Court and their ruling.
Huge landmark. Our great grandkids and their grandkids will be reading about this for hundreds of years. What happened this election?
Well, yeah, now you hear that the left wants to just get rid of the Supreme Court.
Well, isn't that convenient? Boy, they're overall friendly with the Supreme Court when they get what they want, but the minute we don't want these people are cheaters. Nah, man, they actually read the Constitution. That's why they're there. They're supposed to know what they're doing, and they got it right.
Including the ones that Biden appointed.
Yeah, right. There is little. I'm not a lawyer. I don't pretend to be one. I'm not a constitutional expert.
But you can read.
I can read, and our forefathers put these things together to control the government. And boy, I tell you what, thank you, Thank you, John Hancock. He's my favorite guy.
Because he had the biggest signature.
That's right. Had the big K. I tell
Oh,
that.
I was just so happy. And now, how about Fatty Fanny?
I didn't catch anything. I was just so giddy about what happened last night. I was reading everything I could read uh, about Haley. We're going to come back to Haley in a minute.
Oh God, poor Haley. But yeah, the Georgia State Senate has now opened a probe against her. And they've actually proven that not only did she go to Washington and have meetings with Biden, she also had meetings with Harris. And so we all know that this was a setup from the beginning. And not only is she going to be disqualified, they're going to have to drop the whole thing.
We get that. They are trying to manipulate the elections. They are election deniers. They are doing every rotten, dirty legal trick they can do, and they know they're wrong. And it's all coming out in one big yeehaw. And the Supreme Court thing, I just sat back and I'm like, thank you for doing your jobs, and we appreciate that.
And all the other ones are going to follow suit, one on top of another, as soon as they're hit by the Supreme Court.
Well, they're not even going to go. The way I interpreted it, they made this ruling about Colorado. It applies to all of them because they cannot manipulate or get involved in an election with a federal official. The only one that can control these elections for the president, is Congress. The states have
Right.
zero to say about the presidential election. Thank you for that check and balance, and we appreciate that.
Right. Now, speaking of that, did you get the email I sent you regarding Michelle and having to go check all these machines?
No, I didn't. I was kind of busy today. I'm sorry. But go ahead, talk
No,
about it.
that's okay.
Talk about it.
Okay, well, even you heard at the thing that we went to about getting out the vote and everything. These Democrats, and you can see this now because God help us, the pretzel is now in charge of elections, doesn't know what he's doing.
Nope.
They're going to be getting into these machines somehow, some way. So I'm begging everybody. Michelle Privet, God bless her. God bless her. She needs volunteers to check the validity of these voting machines. So she has a sign up list. And please get a hold of her. There's like 5 days, 3 shifts a day. If you can work one shift or 2 shifts, whatever you can work, please get a hold of her and sign up because we need to check these machines before the primary.
Right. And what they're talking about is whenever they're getting ready for an election, I know as a councilman, I went in there and I watched them, and they go through every machine. They have scans that they go through. They put it in test mode, wink, wink, and they run test scans. They take paper that they take ballots that are, fake ballots. They'll have Abraham Lincoln's name on it, and they'll mess them up on purpose to make sure the scanners are working properly. So,
Right.
I mean, as a councilman, I went down there and we walked through and watched them go through. We don't touch the machines. We're not allowed to touch the machines. The staff that work at the warehouse, they're the ones that actually run the performance checks and test them and make sure they print properly
Right.
and make sure they
And
scan
she's
properly.
already concerned, from what I understand, unless she's fixed it. They're supposed to run hundreds of different types of ballots, every scenario you can think of through those. And as of right now, they only have packets of like 30. So she's already concerned.
Yeah.
So whatever you guys can do, please. And another thing, and I'm going to harp on this, just like Brian and I harp on the mail-in ballots. We need people to please, please, please sign up to be a judge of elections or a poll watcher. Or if you don't have the time to do that, which you do get paid for, please volunteer to go to the polls and at least greet people. We're going to have information to pass out at the doors, even if it's only for an hour or maybe 2 hours or maybe an hour after work or an hour before work, especially those of you guys who are like me who are retired. We really need to come together as Republicans. I mean, you guys see what's going on, even in our city. Look at what the county council's doing. Look what the city council's doing. We have the votes. We really do. We just need to get out there and stand together and get out there. It can't just be Karen. It can't be just Michelle. It can't be just Brian or me or Tom. We have to get more volunteers. So I'm just pleading with everybody, please support us. It's just, what is it, Brian? 2 days out of the year, a
Yeah.
couple days out of the year.
Well, if you want to be a judge, you have to take some classes. Really simple. They pay you
You
to
get
take the
paid.
class. They pay to take the class. And then you get assigned your precinct, which is usually close to you, and they pay you for the day. Now, are you going to be Trump rich? No. Are you going to get paid for your long day? Sure. You know, and it's a civic duty. It's something we all need to do, and we need volunteers. The Democrats do it. We have people that stand outside in the cold for free. That's the part that sucks because it is for free. However, you got to remember that sign, that pamphlet, that ballot that is a sample ballot is the last thing that a voter sees. And the numbers are up there. People do not know who they're going to vote for until they get in there. So the science is back in this thing, but the problem is we fall short and people actually standing there with the sign. You know, we do it. Brenda does it. Kim's done it. You know, I've had people volunteer and do it, but we never have enough to cover all the bases. And with a presidential race, we need them all covered. We really, really do. And we need to make a good showing in the county, the city. Don't hold your breath. We still got to do it. But it's important. You know, it's important to take a couple hours out of your day and do your civic duty and say, hey, at least I did my fair share.
Right. And once again, what Brian's been saying, even if you don't like our candidate, remember, if you don't vote for the Republican candidate, then you're voting for the Democratic candidate. And remember, you might not agree with absolutely everything they're doing, but remember this, they are better than the alternative. And especially, come on, guys, Senator Laughlin has done a lot for us. And remember this, if you own a gun, if you enjoy hunting, he has saved so many of our gun rights that they have tried to sneak in there. And I, as a gun owner and a gun lover, I appreciate him so, so much. And as for Mike Kelly, yes, he's made some decisions that you might not agree with, but you know what? I sat down with him and I asked him face to face, why did you vote this way? Why did you vote that way? And when he gave me his answers, I was shocked. I was astonished. I'm not there. I don't know why he did it. Sit down. He's accessible all the time and ask him why he voted certain ways. You'll be astonished at his answers.
Yeah, because sometimes we only see what they are talking about from the screen of the TV or our phone app that's giving us the news. They don't give you the 1,000 foot picture. They don't. You know, I know Mike did some votes. I was like, what? And then Kim and I talked about it. I'm like, oh, okay. I see it. You know, and it's the same thing with Dan Laughlin. Oh, he's a rhino. No, he's not a rhino. He's just somebody that has a different perspective. However, what is it? 35 different House bills that they're working
Yeah.
on to take away our Second Amendment. And
And they and
no,
they just got 5 of those on the House floor.
well, that's what I'm saying.
And remember, he is the one they're going to go after the most. We only hold the state senate by, what is it, Brian? 3?
3 votes. Three seats.
Three seats. Yeah, 3 seats. So I mean, they're really going to go after him hard. And please, guys, remember all of the things that Jimmy Worst has done in the past. Worst is worse. I'm going to keep saying it.
That's a
Look what he has
T-shirt.
put. Yeah, look what he has put on our county council. Look what he has done to our city.
Well, yeah, and he has the eerie read that he spews his hate, and they say you guys are this and you guys are that, you guys are this and that. You should really hear what they're saying. You should really read what these people say. And you know these people that are pointing the fingers at Republicans and you're a threat to democracy. You know what's a threat to democracy when a state and a bunch of their Democrat cronies get a plan together and block the president of the United States from rerunning. That's a threat to democracy and a republic. And yeah, there's a lot of people just bumping. Hey, Gino, thanks for coming in. Dave, yeah, Wertz is the worst. That's a good. Yeah, Dave just pumped in Wertz. WERTZ is the worst. WORST, worst.
Hashtag.
Hashtag. Yeah, that's a good one. We'll do it with hashtag. Worst is the worst. You know, that'd be a great
I've been
one.
hanging out with you too long, Brian.
See, hashtag's great because once you get a hashtag up and running and it sticks, people just click it. It takes you all of that
Yeah,
information.
I think that should be his slogan. and just like, what was it you posted online today? It reminds me so much of like Whoopi. All Republicans should be jailed.
Oh
And that's
yeah.
what they tried to do at the resurrection.
Oh, we're gonna play
Look at
that.
what
Yeah.
was that poor lady? A diabetic grandmother they wanted to put away for how many years?
Oh, I get it. I have it on my I have sound bites now. I can play sound bites, and that I was gonna play Whoopi, her philosophy on Republicans. Now,
Yeah, and what
just imagine,
they put a big condom on Trump,
just
you know?
imagine if we were Republicans and said all Democrats need to be locked up. Imagine that.
Oh my God. We would be locked up for saying it.
Well, absolutely.
Just
Well,
like,
yeah,
or if we
yeah.
said all Democrats are deplorables,
Right. Well, yeah. What did Hillary Clinton always say about Trump? He's a illegitimate president.
Yeah,
That sounds like election denial to me.
right.
Let's have a has been actress that is sitting in a place where she thinks she's important and says we should have just have the president lock up all Republicans. Yeah,
Right.
that's
I
tell me.
thought they were supposed to be off the air anyways.
I don't know. It's rumor. Trust me. The liberal media runs and owns everything. They love it because those I can't even call them hens because you know what, I like my hens and they give us eggs. So they just run around buck, 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 all this hate and
Right.
and they go. But yeah. So hey, I got another call.
Well, I'm going to let you go. And like I said, I have faith in all of you people listening to Brian. Thank you very much. And thank you again, Brian and Brenda, for all of your hard work.
All
You
right.
are
Thanks, kiddo.
appreciated and loved.
Right.
Bye bye.
Gino, you're live.
Hey, Mr. Shank.
How do you say hello in Italian?
Ciao.
Oh, it's just ciao. I thought so. It's
And it's good-
it's
and
ciao
it's
and goodbye,
goodbye,
hello and goodbye.
And goodbye. Yes.
See, these Italian
it
guys, you
goes-
keep it simple.
It goes both ways.
It's okay.
But-
So how you doing? How's the Italian building contract construction world going?
Oh, loving it. Living the dream. Everything's great. Materials cheap and labor's plentiful.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I hear some snickering underneath your mustache, sir. If anybody doesn't know Gino, he's got the best Italian mustache. It looks like
I
a
don't know
Mario
about-
brother.
I don't know about the best, but I'm there. I'm close.
No, it's all good. You dress up as Mario, you probably win every year, don't you?
That's it. I go to the 80s dance. I don't enter because I don't want to, it's too easy for me. I already got a shoe in.
Well, yeah, you would probably just get like a tight, polyester shirt, it's a little tight. You just come in as an Italian stallion.
There you go, baby. You know it.
Yes.
Big win last night. That
Huge.
was awesome. And we knew it was huge. It was huge. But anyhow, we got to stay focused.
Absolutely.
The big thing is telling people they need to volunteer. And the trouble is a lot of us are busy. You own your own business. It's tough to go and volunteer, but you got to do whatever you can.
Well, I totally agree
promote
with it. I think the federal government should make it a national holiday and just pay the people to stay home, and that way they can get out and vote and they can go out and volunteer.
Right, because then by doing that, your schools then will be in session. So less havoc for the schools and all that business. So for polling places. But what I wanted to say is one big thing we better not lose sight of, and I think President it's in his head. We need to invite everybody into the tent. Everyone's got to come in. We got to get every vote we can get. We got to get the positive message out and debunk all the BS about racist or whatever they want to say. Or we don't like immigrants. No, we don't like illegal immigration. And we really, and the people, Nikki Haley, fine, okay, it's over now. The focus should be now the people that were voting for her. My guess were there was a lot of Democrats in those open primaries.
There
But
was.
try to get those votes one way or the other.
Well, right,
We
that's
don't want to be close.
right, and that's the message I've been banging my head against the computer screen for the last 5 years. In my race, we only had 22% of the people come out and vote. 22%. That doesn't win elections. I'm not a math guy. I don't know this new Common Core math stuff, but that
Oh, man, what a
22%,
mess that
yeah,
was.
22% does not win elections, and it won't win
Well,
elections.
well, Brian, the thing is, why didn't they come out? Were they just not happy with who was presented to them? I mean, Erie, it seems like, man, if it's windy out, oh, it was because of the weather, or it was because of this, or because of that.
Totally
But it
agree with
seems
you.
like the only time we have a big turnout is in the presidential election.
Oh, because right, it's a big sexy race, but look what
Right.
happened on county government. We lost control of county government, which is what they wanted. They want to control the county government because now they control the board of elections going into a presidential election, and they knew Donald J. Trump would be there. They've got it.
Well, that's why you had outside money coming in.
Lots
Why
of it.
else would they do that?
No,
And they,
exactly.
when Trump won the first time in 16, he showed a map of the United States that showed all the counties he had won. And when he showed that map, I'm sure the Democrats were already looking at it, but if they weren't thinking about it, they were then, and they were looking at, okay, we know where to go now and how to hit these people. But most, you would think people would have enough common sense to say, how is Joe Biden better than Donald Trump? I don't know, but Erie County decided to vote for Joe Biden. Now, can we do it? Go back? I hope so,
I believe
because
so. I truly
I,
do.
I'm really, I really think that this whole, they've showed their hand. They are trying to put him in jail one way or the other, get him off the ballot
Yep.
one way or the other, and they know once you get to the Supreme Court can't play. If they start to play, then it's all over.
And the
Then
14th Amendment, like I
democracy-
stated earlier, I don't know if you're running it. The 14th Amendment is crystal clear, crystal clear. And they said, yeah, the states have no business interfering with a presidential race. It's not in
All
their
right.
spectrum. They're way out of their league. But hell, what's the difference? They gave it a Hail Mary. They put the ball up in the air, hoping it would come down on what they wanted to do, but it fell short on Monday, right in front of Super Tuesday, and Colorado came out
Right.
blazing for Trump. So that's like a double tap, man. That's just like a win-win.
And that was they everything they've done so far has backfired on them and has helped Trump. Now, President Trump just needs to keep the ball rolling, stay positive. I really, a lot of times we sit there and we listen to both sides. Don't give them even an inch of anything that gives them an inclination that he's saying something that's derogatory towards whatever, a race, a belief, a religion, whatever.
Someone's
Because I
skirt, someone's car, anything, because they're literally have people listening to every word, hanging on every punctuation, waiting for him. Like when he misspoke his wife's name. I've done it. We've all
they
done it.
said they said he was talking to whoever was heading up the thing. That was their name, Mercedes, because
Right.
I think they gave a standing ovation, and he was like, "Hey, wow, look at this." And I don't think he made a mistake. He
I
knows
don't
his wife's
I
name.
don't think he did either, but they're literally the point is they're literally
They have
waiting and hanging on every word for him to screw up because this sniffy Joe guy in the White House can't put a sentence together unless he's on a teleprompter. Just, do you know what tomorrow night is?
I was a State of the Union,
State of the
and
Union. I just can't wait. I'm literally gonna pop some popcorn and I'm just gonna sit there and wait to listen to Miss Green.
somebody's gonna yell
Oh
at
yeah,
you
you
live.
know it. I was watching an interview with Green, and she was some lady from the BBC with her little snotty accent was
Hmm.
uh, was interviewing her. Now, if there's any kids in the room, I apologize. I'm going to use profanity. I
Oh
apologize.
boy, look out!
Yeah. So Green's interviewing with this BBC guy, and the Green's staying right in step with her. Da, 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 da.
Oh, where she told her to go f herself.
She in that and her nice hair and her nice gown, and everything. She looked at the reporter, goes, "Go fuck yourself," and walked
Yeah, she.
away. And I'm like, wow, you go, girl, because the news reporter was just being
Well, she got
nasty.
got real ignorant with her
Yes,
the
yes.
last two questions, and she's like,
I,
so,
I
an old saying, an old timer told me. He says sometimes when you say thank you, you really mean something else.
You
And
know,
maybe sometimes it pays maybe to do that because we know really what she meant. But hey, you know what? Hey, it is what it is. She was flinging her mud and she flung it back. And
right?
you know what? Fortunately, that's what people are looking for now. This standing above the fray, that's all gone because we figured out all these people we thought were above the fray are nothing but a bunch of disgusting pigs,
Well,
as
they're
Joe
hypocrites.
McCord should say.
Yep. Oh,
What did
absolutely.
remember when we found out that they have a slush fund for Congress for when they sexual harassment
I
to the
wouldn't doubt it.
employees?
Wouldn't doubt it.
What the hell is that all about? I'm like, whoa, what? And like, oh yeah, Trump's like, oh yeah, we got a slush fund because these guys see what's going on. One thing I will say, we know Biden is damaged, whatever, blah blah blah. But one thing that them Democrats are good at is fundraising.
Oh,
They got some
absolutely.
pretty heavy hitters, and
Sure
that's
they
what's
are.
keeping him going. And that's what kept because he was broke when he was right before he became the man.
There's a
The last
skit.
election.
There's a skit.
Mhm.
Stand-up comedian Robin Williams did it years
Yeah,
ago. It was talking about bumbling Joe Biden. And he wouldn't,
yeah,
I mean, how long has Robin been gone? He's been gone for what, 10, 15 years? So that's how
uh,
long ago this skit was of him bumbling. Look, the research is there. He bragged about, oh, I graduated top of my class. No, you didn't. You graduated at the bottom. He plagiarized all of his presentations. Everything he put together was plagiarized, and he's helped pushed and signed the crimes bill, which was the most racist piece of crap legislation that locked up folks of color more than anybody else. But that's okay. They like him now. That was back then, but that's on now. But don't worry about that piece of legislation you did back in the 70s, the crimes bill that locked up more African Americans and than anybody else. Google it up. It's not my words, it's theirs.
but people won't. They only want. They got the people that want to say that that the people that support Trump or MAGA or whatever are a cult.
I
If
know.
you
I
want to
know.
see a you want to see a cult, look at these folks. I mean, soon as he didn't do what they said, they're turning their backs on him, on Biden, and some of these other Congress people. They're going after them. Just
I,
showed Adam Schiff. They had people, protesters at his thing last night because he won his primary or whatever,
I thought he
and they're all
lost.
chanting, to stop the whatever with Hamas.
Right. I thought Shifty Shift lost last night. I
No,
thought that I thought that baseball player beat him.
I'll have to double check unless I meant it.
Yeah,
No,
I don't know because I thought
want
I read he
to
lost.
false and fake information here.
Well, that's the false news. I don't. It's hard to believe everything you read and half the thing you see. But what's funny? You said mega. It's funny. You hear one of those mega people. Is that an insult? Let's see. Make America great again. Wow.
Uh,
What a
It's not
concept.
America's our homeland. That's everything, right? That's everyone that's in it too. That's what it's sad that people they really don't like American exceptionalism.
Right.
They just they do. I guess there's something wrong with it. That's what made this country great. Everybody wanted to come here because we were exceptional. We are exceptional,
Well,
but we're losing it if we keep getting ourselves more in debt, more less and less. Dumbing down the people. Oh, you don't want to pay your college loan? Oh, we'll pay it back for you.
yeah,
Oh,
don't
we'll
worry
raise it.
about it. Don't worry about it.
It's it's embarrassing what it's turning out to be. And yes, it's sad to sit here and talk negatively about our country. I don't like it at all. But look, we have a lack of leadership and basically the mob mentality running the country.
Oh, you're absolutely. People are typing in the room. Yeah, Steve Garvey. Thank you. People are like Garvey is running against Shift in the general. They've got some screwy rules. Yeah, Steve Garvey, and Paul is like, I've heard it both ways. That's what I said. I thought Steve Garvey won. That's why they said this was like huge. That even Trump did extremely well in wacky California. So there is
Yeah,
hope. There's hope. I was waiting to put a for sale sign out and say, sorry guys, you're on your own. But like, whoa, wait a minute. You guys supported Trump? The most
I think I looked it up. I want to say there's like 23% registered Republicans in California and 46
sure.
of the Democrats. So I don't know. It depends. Sometimes, hey, people are like, what? We can't keep doing this.
No,
We can't.
it's non-sustainable. The spending of the federal government is unsustainable. Bringing in these people that are illegal aliens, it's unsustainable. We can't afford it. We cannot afford it. We this thing in Ukraine, we can't afford that either. And our great grandchildren are going to be paying for this debt that they
The one, the
just
one,
keep racking up.
the one that's got me really, really thinking something's really, really wrong with our country is we gave a Chinese company, I want to say it was $8 billion to open up a battery company in our country. And it only takes about all said and done with updating a coal plant because they don't have enough electric to run this place that they're
Battery
going to
plant,
build.
right?
Makes no sense. All
No
right. So we're upgrading a coal plant and they really only needed 6 billion. So where the
kickbacks.
other
It's
where
all
the other two?
kickbacks. Yeah. You don't
It's
think elections aren't expensive to run, and you don't think this money's getting kicked back, and they're buying this back, and they're doing that back, and then we finally get Hunter to report to Congress, and he spills his beans. Where's the news on this? The certain news entities have had the transcripts. They said, yeah, we did this, and Dad was the big guy, and he got 10%, admitting to everything. Where
how
is
come
it? Why isn't it
how
on the news? Hunter Biden, yeah.
right. Look at they're playing defense for him. How come you and I aren't on some foreign company's board?
Well,
How
because
come
my
you
dad just worked at GE. He was a union guy.
right,
He doesn't have that exposure.
right. So if we start to look, if I remember correctly, Jim Carrey's daughter is married to some high up person in Iran.
Oh, Jesus.
Remember when that 500 billion had to go back to them? He was like flying on the plane with it and make sure everything was smoothing everything out.
Right.
You got to wonder, and
Yeah.
it was
Yeah. Dave just typed in Garvey's a Republican. You're right. Garvey is, and Schiff's a Democrat. We get that.
Mm.
That's why they were like, go look at this. This is, Steve was doing really, really well for his primary as a Republican, and he shouldn't have done that well because of the Democrats. I don't know if they have open. I don't know if the independents can vote. I don't know. I don't pay attention to California, because it's just, it's a joke. It's an absolute disgusting joke. I mean, I was a cop back there in the early 90s. I am glad I left. I have no remorse for leaving that, but
it's so expensive. A buddy of
oh,
mine is he had both of his kids were out there. The one works used to work there at a BMW as a mechanic, and he moved to Arizona. So he's can even making like $35 an hour. It's still, and he's like, I'm gonna get married and have kids. Can't live in a 1 bedroom apartment, and the cost of living there is just crazy.
oh, I was, like I said, I was a cop back there in the 90s, and I got out of the army, I joined went to the police academy, got out, and we were in a 1 bedroom apartment, and things were tight, and at the time I was married, my ex-wife, and she worked, and we were struggling just to keep a 1 bedroom apartment up and running, and we wanted to get a house and maybe have kids. No way.
Yeah,
It was just
out there.
no way on a cop salary, so we moved back here.
Well, but I think the last good thing that came out of there was two things. I think Ronald Reagan and the Beach Boys.
I like
Two
that.
girls for every boy. Sound
Yeah,
like a good place to be.
I know. So I took my T-bird
Well,
away.
you're right. Hey, shout out to our brother Dave out there.
Yeah,
Under flies under the radar under his alias there, but that's okay. We'll play that game.
that's okay. Yeah, he doesn't call it an Natali show anymore. I mean, he just he calls it my show. I said, and it's like Gino when you call my show. We don't have any time. Remember, hey, sorry, Gino, got to cut you off. We're up against a hard break. I don't have any breaks. We're just
Full
we're
steam ahead.
two guys talking. We've been talking for 18 minutes and 12
Oh,
seconds.
already. Geez, I'm hogging up the line. I don't want
Hey.
anybody else calling. Or what?
No, I mean you called in, somebody else is on there. It just clicks over to the next line. It's all good. But Gino, thanks for calling, man. We appreciate it.
Keep up the good work, Brian.
Keep up the good work. Go pay those taxes. We got a lot of aliens to feed.
Yes, a lot of people depending on us.
Ciao.
All right, peace.
Yeah, that Gino, hardworking guy, family guy, nice family. I've met his wife and daughters, and they own a construction company here. They plow snow. They do it all. But this is something that I got a soundbite from that I want to play. This is actually Naughty Nicky's saying goodbye, then bowing out gracefully. I was shocked. So let me get the soundbite up for you. If you didn't catch it.
But the time has now come to suspend my campaign. I said I wanted Americans to have their voices heard. I have done that. I have no regrets. And although I will no longer be a candidate, I will not stop using my voice for the things I believe in. Our national debt will eventually crush our economy. A smaller federal government is not only necessary for our freedom, it is necessary for our survival. The road to socialism is the road to ruin for America. Our Congress is dysfunctional and only getting worse.
I agree.
It is filled with followers, not leaders. Term limits for Washington politicians are needed now more than ever.
I agree.
Our world is on fire because of America's retreat.
I disagree.
Standing by our allies in Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan is a moral imperative. But it's also more than that. If we retreat further, there will be more war, not less.
Disagree.
As important, while we stand strong for the cause of freedom, we must bind together as Americans. We must turn away from the darkness of hatred and division. I will continue to promote all those values, as is the right of every American. I sought the honor of being your president. But in our great country, being a private citizen is privilege enough in itself. And that's a privilege I very much look forward to enjoying. In all likelihood, Donald Trump will be the Republican nominee when our party convention meets in July. I congratulate him and wish him well. I wish anyone well.
Well, she goes blah, 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 a bunch of butt kicks, and I want to be the vice president. She doesn't have a chance on double L toothpicks. So yeah, I mean, a lot of things going on. We touch bases on what's going on Super Tuesday. Joe Biden lost one, Trump lost one, and it was Vermont anyway. So I think they have open, and Democrat, Republicans, illegal aliens, aliens from outer space. I think they're all allowed to vote. So if you guys want to call in, area code 814-873-3612. And this is why we do the show. We worked hard to get it to where it's at. We worked hard to get the phone option up and running, because man, it is so nice to be able to take calls and hear them, because we really, really kind of struggled. Corey, my man, how's the weather down in your neck of the woods?
Oh, it's raining today. We had good weather though. It's in the mid 50s. Yesterday it was sunny, but today it was raining all day.
Yeah, it could be snow, but so I saw your signs. It looks like you're being a proactive, boots on the ground kind of guy down there in your neck of the woods.
Absolutely. We're gonna put some flyers on the doors here pretty soon.
Well,
we have some door knocking days scheduled.
Yeah, tell the folks that don't know you from up down there. Tell them who you are and what you're running for.
So I'm Corey Chick. I'm running to be a delegate to the Republican National Convention. I'm 21 years old. I turned 22 next Wednesday, actually. And I've been involved in politics for about 3 or 4 years now. And 2 years ago, I got elected as a Republican committee man for Winfield Township here in Butler County. I'm running for re-election for that as well here in Winfield Township, Butler County. But as many as you know, the delegates are how we get the Republican nominee elected at the Republican National Convention. So I'm running for delegate, and I am committing to vote for Donald Trump no matter what happens, no matter what felonies that the Democratic Party and all these fake liberal district attorneys are trying to indict him for. I don't care what all these people do. The fact is, Trump's going to be our nominee, and all this is bullcrap what they're doing to him. And if I get elected as your delegate with you guys' vote, I pledge to vote for Donald Trump at the Republican National Convention no matter what.
See, this is what we need. This is we need about 20, 30, 50, 100 of Corey's, because see, this guy is 21 years old. It's your birthday, isn't it?
In 1 week, I'll be 22. Yeah.
Okay, I knew you had a birthday coming up here, but yeah. So he's a go-getter. I've met him several times at several events, and he drives a Mustang, and he's motivated. So these are the men and women that are doing it now. So we, hitting 61, can sit back and relax a little bit and know we have good, solid people picking up the reins and running. So yeah, you sent me some pictures. You put them on Facebook. You're being really proactive. You're being boots on the ground. Getting your name out there, and you're utilizing your youth kind of assets with social media. Where the folks that are a little bit older, that's a problem we're having up here in Erie with the Republican Party. Yes, we know that these folks have been doing it a long time, and we respect them and we appreciate everything they accomplished, but they won't change, and that's going to be our downfall.
Well, there's a way that everyone can help. Me, where I'm at, I can do a little bit of everything. I can still knock on about as many doors as I can a day, and then I can make phone calls still. I can put up signs. I can do some campaigning for myself. I know how to send mailers out. I'm actually sending one out for my township coming up here for my committee race.
Nice.
Believe it or not, the guy I'm running against for the committee race is older than Joe Biden is. He's
Oh.
84. The
Oh.
guy that I'm running against, and he's trying to replace me. I don't know what reason for, but I'll beat him in this race. But definitely one way that if door knocking really isn't people's thing, there's another way that you can be campaigning for Republican candidates, especially for Trump. I remember a friend in the Trump campaign contacted me about a couple weeks back about the South Carolina primary, about making phone calls. And there's this app called Campaign Sidekick. So I was making phone calls for President Trump. I think it was 5 days before the primary, but I was able to bust out over 1,000 phone calls within a matter of 5 days. And I was doing about an hour every day, and for 5 days, and I was able to make 1,000 phone calls using the Campaign Sidekick app, and that's reaching 1,000 voters, and that's huge.
Yeah. When
An
Trump
hour a day, like about 200 phone calls. That
Yeah.
was great.
Yeah, when Trump was running from the last election, we were at the Trump headquarters. Young folks just out of college, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and ready to go to work. And they set us up, and we plugged our phones in. Doesn't cost us anything, and we sat there, and made phone calls. We sent text messages, and I know I've gone out and door knocked. You go door knock in my neighborhood during the day. You know what you're gonna get? Nothing. Because the majority of the people are that crazy weird word. Oh, I don't know. They work. So you don't get to interact with them. You don't get to put it on your app, but you get to put a plastic bag out there. And Kim and I have talked about how we're gonna get some palm cards together. And we're gonna go door knock, and we're gonna leave multiple cards in that bag when they're not there.
For the Republican candidates, yeah.
Right.
So that way, when they return home from work, they see this nice plastic bag.
Yeah.
And Kim told me that she's putting American flags in them, also little American flags, which is a great idea. That way, they get something else on top of that. And I have a ton of little American flags. I have one hanging in the middle seat of my car, and I just like it's a very, very small American flag. And then whenever I roll the windows down, I can see the flag flapping in the back of my car. It's very cool, but it's Kim goes above and beyond for door knocking. Kim is literally one of the best door knockers there
And
is
you
in
can't
Erie County.
you
Kim
can't
is incredible.
and you can't tell her no.
Oh yeah,
She does
Kim is
not
one of the
accept
hardest
no as
workers
an
that there
answer.
are.
Yeah, she's good. And, and I don't, Corey. I don't know if you saw this or not, but Matt in here, Corey, I'd love to get together and learn
Yeah,
more about
Matt.
campaign
Matt
side.
is yeah, he's running for state rep, isn't he?
Yes, he's a Army
Yeah,
lieutenant,
I've
state
heard
rep.
about Matt. He's a really great guy, and he better win.
Yeah, he's
And
got a tough battle. He's going to need some help. Trust me,
is
because
that
and I'm not a
what's the
bullshit.
guy he's running against?
Bob Mursky, and that's the thing.
Mursky. Oh yeah, that guy is a liberal wacko.
Yeah. Oh, totally agree with you. I mean, I've met him. We shook hands. I like him. He smiles in your face. He's a nice guy. He's a school teacher. Blah blah blah. His dad was the sheriff. Blah blah blah. But you know what? They kept us locked down. They voted to keep us out of the green, and they kept us locked down. And they did nothing to buck Wolf. They didn't. They didn't. So Bob, I
He's a
like you.
liberal authoritarian.
Right, but I'm not going to vote for you ever again because I remember what you did to this community. And everybody walks around, high five, like nothing happened. Bullshit. Bullshit. You ruined this country. You ruined this state for nothing other than we think it's a bad virus. And now, what did the CDC just release last week? They're treating it as a flu. Now,
Of course it is.
and we told them all this was the flu, but no, we got to lock you down. We got to crush you down. We had people shooting each other for toilet paper, and we're fighting in the streets over food
It
because
was
you
all about
guys
controlling us.
exactly they won. They broke us. They broke our backs. They split us in half. I will never forgive the three of these knuckleheads here in Erie County what they did to us. And everybody should remember that. And I'm going to pound on my desk until everybody remembers what they did to us. They locked us down. They took our civil liberties away from us and said, we know better. No, you don't. Trust the science. 1 year later, oh, sorry, guys, we were a little heavy-handed. No shit. But go ahead.
Speaking of which, for all these Democrats up there that are lockdown liberals and tyrants, just look at Ryan Bizzarro, who is running for two positions. He's running to be the state representative against Micah. Hopefully, Micah wins.
He'll kill him.
God
He'll
bless
slap
Micah.
him.
He's
Yeah,
a really great guy.
absolutely.
And then we have Bizzarro versus Garrity.
No
He
way.
doesn't stand a chance against Garrity. Garrity is going to blow him out of proportion.
Full bird colonel, Stacey Garrity, Army MP. She's done first Republican to sit in that chair in over 20 years. And, just because Bizzarro has, skated around gerrymandering because of his district, and he's not really had, I mean, Greg Hayes ran against him. He put up a good fight, but, they spent $17,000 to discredit him on the ballots, and they won, and that hurt them. That actually hurt them. Then they gerrymandered. They changed the areas around there. So conveniently, Greg Hayes can't run against Bizzarro. Convenient.
Oh, yeah. And
Convenient.
I saw Micah posted something about how Bizzarro tried to mouth him in Harrisburg, saying,
oh, yeah.
it's still not too late to quote unquote stop yourself from making the biggest mistake of your life. And that's just one of the rudest things you could possibly say. I think Bizzarro is making the biggest mistake of his life running against Garrity. But
he doesn't care. He's got the money. He's got the people. He surrounds himself with yes people. I know you've heard the show. He put me on the list of the most 25 racist people. I can't chew gum and walk at the same time. And I said, listen, anytime. I listen. I'm 60 years old. You know what? I was jumping out of airplanes when you were still, chasing people around the play yard. So nice try.
Oh, yeah.
Because he doesn't have anything to stand on. He has no real platform other than
he's a career politician
and rip people apart. That's all he does. Just like with Micah. They're down there. I know Micah. I don't know him personally. I've met him many, many times, talked to him many times. I've never even heard him say a curse word. He's such a decent guy. And, so what Bizzarro said, I call bullshit. I call bullshit first down, because I just don't feel it. Can I hear Bizzarro? I've seen what Bizzarro has posted about people, ripping them apart and personally attack them. That's why I have no
He's
problem.
a liar also.
We know that. But the
Yeah,
people,
I just remember Bizzarro when he was in Harrisburg. He was meeting with people to get his petitions for people, and I was filing that day. So I look over, there's Ryan Bizzarro, You know, I look at him and I just realize like this guy, he just seems so like
Schmuck.
he doesn't seem masculine at all. It doesn't look like he can even bench press the barbell.
Yeah,
He has, spaghetti noodles for arms.
yeah. And
I
I just
probably bench more than he does.
follow what the man says and how he treats people. I do.
Yeah,
I've seen how he
he's just a
talks. Yeah,
gutless politician. He's probably just a
career.
crybaby liberal.
Well, now he's a career politician, and now he thinks that he's been doing this enough that he's untouchable. And when it comes down to running against Stacey Garrity, he doesn't have a chance. He'll have the money. You don't think the deep dark PAC money isn't going to come help him because
Oh yeah, he's gonna get a ton of PAC money. Just look at what freaking Bloomberg did to you.
yeah, I get
Bloomberg's
it.
a billionaire.
I know. Yeah, $200,000. That was lunch.
They got
Lunch
enough
money.
money to burn it right in front of us.
Yeah, and I get that. And that was the same thing when they came after me for council. That was $200,000 out of DC dark PAC money, and it was just some bullshit PAC out of DC. God only knows if you have to be a lawyer to figure out where the money actually came from. But, if you're that desperate for that job, dude, you could have it. Other than the fact that, they have control of everything. My life is half as stressful as it used to be. I don't have people yelling at me. I don't have to go to county council meetings and gavel people because they're crazy lunatic Democrats pounding on their on the podium because they don't get their way. And then they point fingers at you and say, you're a threat to democracy. I said, no, I'm an honorably discharged veteran. What have you done for your country? You haven't done shit other than stand here and be a Democrat pounding on the podium because you didn't get your way. You have a nice day and watch me retire and ride my Harley off into the sunset.
Yeah, they don't have any respect for anyone that
No, they don't.
has stood strong for this country.
Unless you're a
They literally
Democrat.
do not care about this country.
And these eerie
It's so
Democrats,
sad.
there's a herd of them that literally will dox you into tomorrow. They will go
Another
online.
one
Yeah.
is that Jim Wirtz and who's that Joe Kinsella.
Oh.
He was a rhino from the beginning, Joe Kinsella.
I
He
can't
got
even.
destroyed in that state rep race a couple years ago.
Well, I met him. He ran against me as a Republican for county council. I don't know if that's where I first met Joe. Was he ran against me as he was out of Northeast. I was out of Harbor Creek. Harbor Creek is a little bit better. I had a little bit better foothold. I won him fair and square. Clean race. I ran up against Kyle Faust, the Democrat. He's a schmuck, but I'm telling you, he ran a clean race. No dirt, no crap, nothing. But he was running for controller. Another Democrat that thinks his britches are bigger than he is he ran for controller and county council. Well, he got the controller. That's fine, but there was no mudslinging. I didn't sling any. He didn't sling any. I just made the point that listen, you guys really need to consider who you're voting for. The fact that he's a legacy and his dad was a councilman, that's great, but he's running for 2 jobs. Pick a job that you want to do. Oh, wait a minute. One pays $10,000. The other one pays $90,000. Doesn't take a math whiz to figure that out.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So
it's a disgrace. Some of these liberal politicians, Jim Wirtz, and then he's trying to run a hit campaign on Laughlin and all that. And
it's gonna blow up. In his face.
Laughlin is a solid senator.
Absolutely. I don't always agree with Dan, but you know what? We always find a compromise in the middle. We always do. And you know what really is a selling point? What is it? 35, 40 House bills right now against how they want to put more gun control on us. Just like in California, they want to put a 22% tax on firearms and ammunition. You go to New York, you have to do a background check to buy ammunition. Why do you think there's a new big fancy gun shop right on this side of Pennsylvania, the New York border? I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying, guess where they're going to be going for their ammo and not have to do a background check the box of 22 shells. So these ultra liberal. Oh my God! Did you see? I was going to talk about it. Did you see what happened in New York? The governor of New York has activated the National Guard to New York City to get the subways back in control because of all the crime and crap that's going on in the subway. People are screaming bloody murder that they can't run this. They can't run this.
Oh yeah.
Subways. They're not safe. They're putting the National Guard. They have run that state and city literally into the ground where they have to call out the military. But these are the same liberals that were bitching, complaining about Governor Abbott activating the National Guard to keep these people out. So ridiculous.
Yeah,
So I mean, it's funny how these liberal Democrats actually do their jobs when they forced to during an election because they know Joe Biden's going to get his ass kicked.
oh yeah, it's time's up, and the polls are showing that. Even you know who Shank is, right? From the Young Turks.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a far left lunatic, and he went on to X last night, formerly known as Twitter, and he says that there's a 90% chance Donald Trump is going to be the president of the United States. And he's even admitting that he's a hardcore leftist.
Look at some of the numbers. Look at some of the raw numbers. I know there's a lot of little variables, but they literally were looking at the numbers saying, okay, I'm making the numbers up. But they were just showing examples. The actual real numbers were really impressive. Donald Trump got like 500,000 votes. Joe Biden got
not
like
only that, but we're gaining a lot
300,000.
in voter registration in Pennsylvania.
Right.
We're actually doing better than the Democrats every single week. So
The Democrats didn't
Trump's
come out.
going to win. Trump's going to win.
We know it.
And it starts with the delegate race in Wisconsin to make it official. So if you guys elect me April 23rd, I guarantee you Trump will be getting one vote from this congressional district. Guarantee you.
See, I like that. That's why I'm glad you call up. That's why I let you have as much time. We're not like a radio talk show where we're up against a hard break. We got a 5-minute break. We got 10 minutes of this break. We've been talking for almost 20 minutes because it's independent podcasting. It's independent internet on Facebook and on YouTube, and it's recorded. And I thought Facebook was really going to come down on me hard, but they've been nice. They locked me up a couple of days for too many posts. Then they locked me up for tagging too many people. So I've backed off because I got to keep this solid. I got to keep this. They haven't bothered me with my Facebook post. I can come on here for an hour. I've been on here for 2 hours. So it's just an issue of, I'll throw an F-bomb out there only when I have to. But, this is exactly what I do, is to give candidates like yourself a forum that nobody will give you. Because I know what it was like to run as a candidate. Nobody gave me a forum. Nobody gave me the help. And that's why I'm pushing to be a committee person. And I will push, and I will be the Republican chairman of Erie County. I will. Mark my words.
Awesome, Brian. You're going to do a fantastic job there.
Thank you,
You're
sir.
one of the hardest working individuals that there are. And
I
believe
blessed.
I told you back in November, right before the election, I wish you were my county commissioner down here in Butler County. As just how transparent you are, how you get along with everyone, how you listen to people.
I try.
I really wish that you were my county commissioner here in Butler County.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that,
You're
man.
one of the best to do it.
I'm going to give you a
But
virtual
thank
hug.
you so much for doing all you can, Brian.
Call up anytime, my friend. You always have an open line here.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Well,
all right. Shank.
Enjoy the rest of your night. Take care.
Yeah, Shank out. Yeah, see, this is what I like about what I do. Everybody can call in, as long as you're respectful and you're nice. We'll give you as much time as you need. But you call up here and you're a butthead. I have somebody here that would really like to talk to you. His name is Mr. Click. But yeah, I got to do this. I got to do it.
Do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America.
I just love that song. I wish I could play the whole thing, but there's a lot of F-bombs in there, and I tried to be respectful and I try to be nice. But yeah, I posted a thing on my Facebook page. It was actually it says from newsbreak.com. It's local. Erie County Solicitor rescinding Gannon lease at Blasco Library will violate the law. So we have a rogue county council that thinks they're above the law, and they, Mr. Pretzel, he basically is like, oh, transparent. They're not transparent about nothing. The two biggest projects they've taken on so far, they've done illegally. Diversity, equity, inclusion, they wanted to give them $1.5 million, did it illegal. Brenton didn't sign off on it. And now they're trying to pull back on this Neptune project because the Democrats don't like it because they love the project, but it's their library. No, it's our library, and we say yes. Just because you make more noise and scream and stomp and pound on the podiums, there it is. You can go on my Facebook page. Probably one of the best solicitors in Erie County will give you. They will give you the truth, what's going on. But I want to play. I'm going to get this queued up here from what Whoopi Goldberg thinks about us and the crazy Democrats. You know, let me takes a second to get this queued up right. Let me see if I can get it.
Arguments until the end of April. Now, just let's look at a scenario where the Supreme Court says, yes, he has all those rights. He is immune from everything. Yeah. You know what Joe Biden could do since he is presently president? What? Whoa. He could throw every Republican in jail. Yeah. I mean, he could. Well,
ridiculous. This is what they think of us. Now, just imagine being just normal Republicans, just hardworking Americans trying to provide for their families and do there. But these Hollywood elites think they have access to Joe Biden, and they think it's funny that they should lock up all Republicans. Why are these people still on the air? And you know, I'm not here to really come down on companies, but I got to tell you, I want you guys to do me a favor. Go online and research this up. Remember what we did to Bud Light? We need to look at Doritos. You should see the bullshit that they just got caught doing. Of course, they had a rainbow coalition. They had a rainbow packaging, you know, just not even caring who buys Doritos. So they hire a transgender man as the ambassador. Convicted pedophile. Don't believe me? Google it up. Google it up. If it's not the gospel, I'll rescind and I will apologize. But you know, that's what they think. So yeah, don't just do what you got to do. But I'm telling you, none of them in this house. If they're gonna hire pedophiles to be their ambassador, I'll spend my money on eating cardboard or something. I'd rather do that. So just look up this information and, you know, and read it up for yourself. So this is a kind of a cool clip that I found. I won't play the whole thing because it's kind of long, and I don't want to do that. I'm going to be winding this down. We've been talking for an hour and a half, you know, but I saw this, and this came out.
I want to start by thanking the Supreme Court for
President
its
Trump.
unanimous decision today. It was a very important decision. We're very well crafted, and I think it will go a long way toward bringing our country together, which our country needs. And they worked long, they worked hard, and frankly, they worked very quickly on something that will be spoken about 100 years from now and 200 years from now. Extremely important. Essentially, you cannot take somebody out of a race because an opponent would like to have it that way. And it has nothing to do with the fact that it's the leading candidate, whether it was the leading candidate or a candidate that was well down on the totem pole. You cannot take somebody out of a race. The voters can take the person out of the race very quickly, but a court shouldn't be doing that, and the Supreme Court saw that very well. And I really do believe that will be a unifying factor, because while most states were thrilled to have me, there were some that didn't, and they didn't want that for political reasons. They didn't want that because of poll numbers, because the poll numbers are very good. We're beating President Biden in almost every poll. New York Times came out yesterday with a very big poll for us. So they didn't like that, and you can't do.
Hey, Matt, how you doing?
Oh, I'm just dandy. How are you, Brian?
Good. All I know is Restream gave me a trophy for 100 messages, because that's I get the stats here on my screen. If you look at this, the shot of my my big screen, you can see the chat. I get to see all the chats in all the rooms, and I got a trophy. So, how are you doing? Just give everybody a quick reminder who you are and where you're going.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Matt Strubcheski. I'm running for the for District 2 House Rep, so state rep of District 2, and that's Erie Fifth Ward with Wesleyville, Harbor Creek, Summit, and Green Township.
And that is against Bob Mursky, correct?
Yeah, it'd be against Bob.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, so how have your week's been going? I know, you guys are just biting at the chomps right now. I get it. You're excited. We got a primary coming up. You don't really have a challenger. So, which is nice. It gets you kind of like more time to get in the groove. You're not like going into battle right out the get go. So, yeah, I mean, it's gonna you're gonna have a tough race. I think you're the right man for the right job. That's why we do the show, and we let all candidates come in here, only Republicans, and give us their shtick and where they want to go and what they're doing. It's all you, brother.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's one thing that's really important here. It's like getting started. It is great that I have extra time to do this, but kind of some of the messages we heard earlier, especially from Kim, it's like this is the time more than ever. It's like where there's so much internal fighting and internal splitting up between even of Republicans in Democrats. All the parties are so split right now. It's like unification is going to be one of the biggest things that could really drive it home, even just as much as getting out to vote, which is really important, especially voter turnout is just horrid at what was it, 22, 25% in the county.
Yeah, that's why on my posts I put hashtag 22% voted turnout or something. So, but yeah, we're working on that. We know it's going to be a bigger number. It's the big sexy races. We got the president, we got senators, we got state reps. So we know there's going to be a better turnout. But just remember, it'll be a better turnout for them also. However, we're kicking their asses on registration and changing parties because Sniffy Joe in the White House is helping us do our jobs.
Oh yeah, makes our job a hell of a lot easier when they're breaking themselves. But I mean, even past that on the local level, it's just we need, I mean, super strong leadership at the party level. The county party, first of all, I mean, we need you in there soon. But we're sitting here and we're not fully using our resources. They'll sit there and it's great that we have them, but at the same time, we're not doing enough for even separate from me, where all these candidates that are getting out there. It's like we haven't seen much from the county party. That'd be great for us to get together and be like, hey, let's see what we can do for these. So like for me, it's been kind of a manual figuring it out, and but I think it's going really good. And soon we're gonna have, even though technically it's already been announced, but like an announcement party. But we're kind of climbing up there. But yeah, biggest thing for me is I can't wait to see Shank in the chairman position.
I appreciate it, man. I do. But yeah, the official campaign kickoff is huge because that will be one of the only events the news will come out and cover. They won't come out to a meet and greet. They won't come out to a fundraiser, because they have to stay kind of neutral. However, your announcement, they will come out for that. As you saw, were you out there for Micah's? I can't remember if you were there or not. But Micah had the media came out there. They did an interview. I know when I ran for sheriff, they came. I did mine at the steps of the courthouse, and when I ran for council, I did it at the old train station in Northeast. They came out. It was cold as blazes out, but they came out. So don't forget to do that. And you have lots of assets around you. As a young lieutenant, you learn very quickly to trust your sergeants.
Absolutely. That's number one is always trust your sergeant. Without your sergeant, you have nothing. But
You're dead in the water, buddy.
You and Kim have been great help with all that. But no, I think it's gonna be great for us. But even moving on past that, with all this, there's been a lot coming up recently with like immigration from Texas to Pennsylvania here, and I think we've gotten a very weak response from some of our local reps of anything that's been happening, whether it's the gaming authority issues. We see them, they'll all band together, sign their name on a piece of paper, and that's the last you ever hear of them. It's
Right.
very, I don't know if I can say that, half cheeked on your, so trying to watch myself on your
No,
show.
I get it. You're fine. You're amongst friends here, but just remember this is recorded. It does go into playback mode, and the haters will go through there. They're like, there's that guy. Yeah, he said
Yeah.
this word and we're going to tear it apart. I don't give a
Yeah.
shit because I'm not an elected official anymore. I'm just Joe Q citizen. So, but you got to be careful, but learn to always be honest and straight with the people, and they will get that.
Absolutely. And but yeah, so it's just like we don't see enough of an actual attempt at like doing things. They sign their names on things, but what's the last you've actually heard from your whoever everyone watching, like your local rep? What was the last you actually heard them do something, rather than just, okay, I saw their name on a piece of paper and then never heard from them again?
Well, right. Well, that's just like Bob Casey, our senator. You can tell it's election year for him because he actually shows up. I didn't even know the guy was still alive. All of a sudden, I see him. He was on some news station agreeing with President Sniffy that we need to look at these companies that are selling less potato chips and charging us more. That's all you've got, Senator of Pennsylvania. Don't worry about the opioid problem. Let's not worry about suicides. Not
Of course
worry
not.
about the homeless. Not that's what Democrats do. They distract the people with the warm and fuzzy stuff. And where, just like the city of Erie, we've got fentanyl problems, we got homeless problems. So what do we argue about? A bike path. Let's let's
Yeah.
let's worry about what's going on in Israel, and we stop the ceasefire. How about we focus on the shitty roads downtown? Let's talk about the people sleeping out in the cold tonight. And then the mayor wants to bring more homeless people here that won't be sleeping out there. They'll be sleeping in nice hotels. But go ahead. This is your
Yeah.
nickel.
No, absolutely. And that's the thing. That's what's confusing about, like, they're doing well with their misdirection of, like, I see more signs on Green Garden about that stupid bike path
Yep.
than I have about just about any other actual issue come up in Erie. Again, the immigration issue, like you're saying, is we're gonna have plenty more homeless in this area, which isn't a problem. And I think that's where the misinformation, they get pretty well on Republicans as a whole too. Everyone will paint it as, oh, Republicans hate immigration. No, we hate illegal immigration. And I think that's a very big thing to separate. It's like, proper process is all we ask for, right? And so we're just saying, okay, let's do this all the right way. Let's support our people. Or here we have enough of a homeless issue. How are we going to address that? Especially, I know you and I, we like to address the homeless veterans, or the veteran suicide rates are especially bad. So, like, how do we address that?
Right. But that's okay. We just came off a 20-year illegal war, and now, we lose 22 soldiers a day to suicide, but we're going to worry about a bike path in the city of Erie. When was the last time somebody stopped down to the Liberty House? A lot of even people even know what the Liberty House is. It's a homeless shelter for veterans. And we drop food off down there. We go down there, and this guy owned it. He was a army major, owned a flooring company. He came down and laid the floor for free. A local business
Wow.
donated the flooring. I was the gopher. And I asked the guys down there at the homeless shelter, I said, what do you guys want for Christmas? They looked around, they looked at the director. We could really use a new floor. That's it.
Wow.
So we got them a new floor. You ask and you shall receive. And we bring down food donations. I watch the internet. There's a lot of free sites that donate food. I go pick up the food, take out the expired stuff. I take it down to Liberty. I brought a trailer of donated food to the Liberty House. They're like, we have no place to put it. I said, I ain't throwing it away, man. I spent 2 days collecting it, pile it up somewhere. But the point is, people don't even realize we have a homeless shelter here in Erie. There's several of them here. The Veterans Miracle Network, that people take donations. Mike Ruzzi called me up one day from Erie News Now and goes, hey, Brian, I got some suits to donate. Where do I donate them to? Veterans Miracle Network, man. All they do is they brush them off and they give them out to the soldiers that need a suit for a job interview. No charge. So
Yeah.
we have a lot of need in this area. And, we don't focus on that. We're focusing on $500,000 for a bike path in the city of Erie that the neighbors don't even stupid want. But that's okay. That's a city problem. The biggest problem out here in Harbor Creek is, I don't know, they forgot to pick up my recycle. But I'm not complaining, but I'm just, we have to be careful of the misdirection. They're pointing over here when the problem's on the other side of the room. And that's what Democrats love to do. They love to point fingers at us and say, you guys are in a cult. No, I'm not. You guys are in the Democrat cult, but they like to spin stuff around and the stuff that they're guilty of, they're the ones doing it. Oh, yeah, you mega people. Yeah, I know it sucks to make America great again. I know that's just a nasty thing to say. But this is why we give you guys this forum to come in here, get your name out there, because it's all about name recognition, especially with a big, nice immigrant name like yourself. Where's your family from?
Mostly Poland.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, it's the ski at the end there.
I didn't want to assume. It's like Shank's picking on the Polish people. He doesn't even know what the ski means. No, it could be Slovakian, it could be Russian, it could be all kinds of different things. But
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, but no, this is why we do this. This is why we do the show. I'm glad we met online and we started chatting. And you reach out when you have a technical question. Kim Hunter will help you out. I'm sorry that the Republican Party doesn't do crap for you. Once we get a new committee in there and we get a new chairman in there, we get a new board in there, we will change the direction of the Erie County Party. It will be more proactive than reactive. And I know that that path of people are like, what? Instead of, we're proactive, meaning we're going to look ahead of a problem and try to cut it off before it gets here, than waiting for the flat tire to go flat.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah. So other than that, man, thanks for the call. We do this every Wednesday night, call in every Wednesday, talk about something you did, something you want to do. If you have an event coming up, you want to do a fundraiser, I told you I DJ it for free, no problem. Any of the Republicans, I told every one of them the same. If you want to do a fundraiser, I'd be more than glad to DJ it for you. No big deal. I'm kind of that guy that's kind of shy and afraid of microphones. Okay, that's
well.
sorry.
Thanks for having me, Brian.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for calling in, brother. I appreciate it.
All right, see ya.
Bye. So yeah, what an interesting boy. An hour and a half. Time flies. See how nice it is when people call in. We get people to call in, and we get different perspectives. We get different kind of like opinions, and we really really appreciate that. And that's what makes the show fun. And we're trying to make it informative. We're trying to make it fun. The more things I learn, the more things we can do. Like I wasn't ever able to do a call very nice. It was just kind of Mickey Moused. Now we got it all figured out. The phone's hooked right up the soundboard. I bring the sound right in. We can take calls. We can hear you, because that was the problem. Is we had a tough time hearing the caller. Now you can hear my big mouth, but it was going through the phone through a microphone. We figured out the soundboard, and we were able to do it. So other than that, we covered a lot of things. We had a lot of good phone calls. I had to turn off my sign because it was messing up the camera. I'll reroute that power line, and we won't have that problem next week. But it was kicking my camera off because there's only so much power coming through those USBs, so I didn't do it off. So, we put a little ad up. I don't know if you guys see it or not. Please support our independent voice with a sponsor donation. Thank you for your continued support. PayPal, Cash App, boots on the ground, Venmo at Brian Shank. If you like to make a donation, get a hold of us via text. Give us a call. If you want to make a cash donation, that's fine too. A lot of people don't like to play with Venmo. They're like, I don't trust that stuff. Okay, so we've had some donors, and we put the money right back into that. The next thing we want to do is bring in some video, other than just sitting here staring at me and look at the back of my big head. We're going to try to integrate a video processor and put some videos in here. That way we can make our show just as good as Rush Limbaugh. Nah, that's a joke. I'll never be as good as Rush Limbaugh. That man, he has some great stuff, and I like to play some of his kind of things that he likes to say, because it's just so right, and he was just right on the money. And when I worked at the prison, we only had a little AM radio. That's all I could hear at 12 o'clock. Glenn Beck and Rush Limbaugh, the EIB. So other than that, that's an hour and a half plus. I want to thank you all for coming out. Yeah, close second. Thank you. I appreciate that, Kim. Love you too. The guy was worth millions. He didn't have to worry about donations to keep his radio station up and running. Trust me, people paid him a lot of money for him to talk about them and be a sponsor. So, we appreciate that. We're going to cue up the music on the outro. See, we couldn't do this stuff before. We have a mixing board now that you guys bought and paid for, and I appreciate it. Oh. Brenda makes these tumblers. If you want one, let her know. All right, everybody. Thanks for coming out, spending Wednesday night with me. I appreciate it. I appreciate your call. No problem, Lieutenant. See, good stuff, Sergeant. See, he knows the trust of Sergeant. I want to thank you all for coming out tonight. I appreciate your calls in because that makes me feel like I'm doing my job right. And you just don't want to hear me chit-chat about blah, blah, blah. It's your show, too. As long as you're a good conservative, you're a moderate Democrat, that isn't a lefty field one. Democrats, we love you guys, too. There's a lot of good Democrats out there. I used to be one. I want to thank you. Stan, I don't think I said hello. Stan out. Thanks, Mom. Good night, everybody. I salute you. Let's be safe out there. It's a crazy world out there. Let's get your families and friends registered to vote. Let's get them to change party to the right side. And if they need a mail-in ballot, you let Kim or myself know, and we will personally deliver you one. Shank out.